Hello everyone, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. I hope all of you can hear me and you can see me as well. Let me know in the chat box, everyone. As you keep on joining, say a quick hi so that I know you guys are there. Okay, so today's session is primarily about how to answer this typical question we get in RCs, reading comprehension, and that is what could be a suitable title for this paragraph or for this poem or for this passage or whatever, correct? This is a very important kind of question. You can obviously always get one question per passage on this topic, sometimes less, of course, but it's very important to learn how to find the title of the passage, right? So let me see, किसने join कर लिया? Preeti, Suleiman, Mahita, Nandini, Nivedita, and Shrishti and Udeshi. Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Good to see you. मैं वेट ही कर रहा था वैसे सबका, and you have turned up. So of course, I do not take this lightly. I am always very happy when all of you join because it clearly means that you value learning, and that also makes us very happy because that sort of tells us that what we are doing is good for you, है ना? तो काफी मजेदार बात है ये. तान्या, Ankit, Vishal, Nityang, good afternoon guys. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. तो थोड़ा सा वेट कर लेता हूँ मैं, और meanwhile I will quickly tell you what we are doing here at BYJU'S Exam Prep for your preparation, और हम क्या क्या कर रहे हैं थोड़ा अपडेट दे देता हूँ, बैचेस वगैरह कौन से लॉन्च कर रहे हैं. तो और तब तक स्टूडेंट्स और आ जाएंगे, फिर हम सेशन शुरू कर लेंगे. तो पहली बात, इफ यू आर टारगेटिंग CLAT 23, we have launched our newest batch, comprehensive preparation course. It's the newest batch with foundation module. Means यहाँ में हम आपको बिल्कुल ABCD से पढ़ाएंगे, बहुत सारा पढ़ाने वाले हैं. And this is one of our hot cakes. Students appreciate this course a lot क्योंकि हम यहाँ बिल्कुल फाउंडेशन से पढ़ाते हैं. तो अगर आप 23 CLAT टारगेट कर रहे हो, प्लीज रिमेंबर गाइस, इफ यू टारगेटिंग CLAT 23, you don't have 1.5 years as you earlier had. This is CLAT 23 will take place this year only in December, so you don't have that kind of time left. But we would teach you from the very basics. This is the foundation module. We have launched it. And if you're targeting CLAT, SLAT, PLAT specifically, these non-CLAT exams, then we have a batch 2 going on for that. Okay, तो वो भी join कर सकते हो. If you're looking for a crash course, it is already going on. You can come for free trial sessions also, or India's best faculty members would of course teach you. So it would be great, right? तो इसमें भी आप join कर सकते हो. And if you're looking for a booster program where legal affairs and current affairs are taken care of, we already have batch number 2 going on for this. Okay, तो ये आप जरूर ज्वाइन कर सकते हो in case you're looking for specific course for current affairs and legal affairs, right? तो ये भी आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. And if you look at the features are all the fireworks that we provide, the very best of the best features. So even the course which is a booster program would teach you things from basics. Current affairs और legal affairs में जो basics होते हैं, concepts होते हैं, events होते हैं, वो बताए जाएंगे. NLU faculty members, the graduates from NLU would teach you. They would be progressive in tests, and even the doubt clearing sessions would be highly interactive. So there is no way you are going anywhere else. Now let me have a look at if anybody else has joined in. Now I can see some more. Bhumika, Navya, Supriya, welcome everyone. Good to see you all. तो ये वाला question type जो है ना बड़ा interesting होता है. And remember, a title question essentially means that you are supposed to know what the paragraph is talking about. You can't answer the question by looking at 1 or 2 lines. So in a way, remember, title questions actually kind of check whether you have understood the paragraph or not. Paragraph समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं, ये check हो जाता है. Okay, so let me start by quickly telling you what exactly is a title. Now if you have seen movies like Munna Bhai MBBS, Munna Bhai had friends, right? So he had Mirchi Munna and Dabru Dada and whatnot. तो ये जो नाम देखे सुने हैं, you may have heard there is a name and then there is a title attached to it. you would see that some of his friends would be called, let's say, uh, Dead Futia. Let's take an example from Vastav movie, right? Now, why are you calling that person by his height? Because that height describes that person. So, what exactly is a title? Title is usually a descriptive term. It describes some quality or something unique about that particular person. It is always a descriptive term, right? That is what is a title. तो टाइटल का काम क्या होता है समझ लो. टाइटल आपको एक छोटे से फ्यू वर्ड्स के थ्रू बताता है, डिस्क्राइब करता है कि ये पैराग्राफ किसके बारे में है. करेक्ट. इट्स अ डिस्क्रिप्टिव और डिस्टिंक्टिव टर्म. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज अर्नड और chosen by others, earned by the person, chosen by others, but it usually describes or tells you something unique about that passage. ये इस पैसेज के का डिस्क्रिप्शन ये है या इस पैसेज के बारे में ये यूनिक बात है. दैट्स व्हाट और टाइटल डज. और इसी वजह से कई एक बार स्टूडेंट फंस जाते हैं बिकॉज दे आर नॉट एबल टू फिगर आउट कि ये पैराग्राफ किस बारे में है. करेक्ट. तो आई कैन सी अ लॉट ऑफ यू हैव जॉइंड एंड ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेलकम गाइस. विकास, मनस, विशाल एंड सृष्टि ने मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस नहीं देखी हो. दैट्स नॉट गुड. देख लो यार, इतनी अच्छी मूवी है ना. तो let's take an example. Okay, let's take the example of a very great movie, very cult movie. It's a fabulously done movie. मेरे ख्याल से इंडिया में काफी लोगों ने मूवी देखी हुई है, शोले. करेक्ट. Now if you look at the title of the movie Sholay, you would notice that it actually is a descriptive term. Yes or no? The movie is about this guy who is basically a Daku. He's a Sardar, Gabbar Singh, and he is Thakur. He is an ex-inspector. And then this guy basically destroys his family and cuts off his hands and ye haath mujhe de de Thakur, something like that. And then this Thakur gets angry and he has got these burning embers in his heart. उसके दिल में आग लग जाती है, बदले की आग. शोले is basically that revenge, right? So you would see this title describes the hatred, the revenge, the passion for revenge that Thakur has against Gabbar Singh. Correct? So you would say, okay, this is describing, agreed, but पूरी मूवी में शोले नाम का कोई एक्टर तो था नहीं, कोई शोले नाम का हीरो भी नहीं था, विलन भी नहीं था. That's exactly the point. This is a descriptive term. It's describing the anger that this person has. Correct? But if you have to decide in a paragraph, तो फिर क्या करेंगे? We'll discuss that also. But let's understand few things more about title. So you would see that title can be of two types basically. Okay, there are two basic types of title. First is of course literal. Okay, literal title. What do I mean by literal title? Let me give you an example. Let's take the very famous epic from India, Ramayana. Right? Now, Ramayana is a literal title. What is Ramayana all about? What does Ramayana describe? Ramayana describes the life story of Ram. It's a description of Ram's life. Literal. कुछ भी इसके अंदर सोचना नहीं है, आपको क्लियरली पता है टाइटल से कि ये कहानी किन के बारे में है. No questions asked. Correct? This is called a literal title. So you read a paragraph, it says 5 benefits of jogging and then it writes 5 benefits of jogging. It's a literal title. No misinterpretation, no scope of not understanding it. सीधा सीधा 5 benefits of jogging, 5 benefits of jogging लिखे हुए, no problem. But you can have another type of title also, which is called indicative or figurative. Right? Sholay is essentially a figurative title. It's an indicative title. ये ज्यों का त्यों बात नहीं करता. ये indicate करता है about something else that is there in the paragraph. So let me repeat. Title is a descriptive term. Correct? Literal भी हो सकता है like रामायण और indicative हो सकता है like शोले. Correct? But ये describe करता है कि ये पूरी की पूरी स्टोरी किसके बारे में है, किस चीज के बारे में. What is it primarily about? I hope you get the point. Now, if you look at the very weird movie titles like पाप को जला के राख कर दूंगा. Now this is very weird. This is a title which actually is pretty literal. It talks about destroying something, correct? But if you look at what it is destroying, that is in itself not something which is physical. आप जाके ऐसे आग नहीं लगा सकते पाप में, correct? So it is a very weird mixture of both. It is essentially saying I'll destroy, but what it will destroy is not really literal, and therefore it's a combination of both. It is saying I'll destroy, so it's in a way literal, and it's destroying sin, which is not really literal. You can't touch or hold it. So it's kind of a figurative title, but थोड़ा सा इसमें literal भी mix है, kind of. So you can have this kind of a title also. But broadly remember दो ही categories रखने हैं दिमाग में. One is literal, जैसा लिखा है, description है exactly वो उसी के बारे में passage में बात होगी. Second is of course figurative, जो लिखा है और जो title है वो exact same नहीं होगा, indirectly refer करेगा. You have to learn to differentiate, correct? So let me give you an example. You all have watched this web series. I think a lot of you have watched it, Family Man. Now look at the title of the web series. It says Family Man. Now if I take it in a literal sense, then this person should be someone who is absolutely, completely devoted to his family, takes care of his family, is always worried about his family. But then, if you watch the web series, you would realize that he's not really, it's not really talking about the personal family. Maybe it's talking about family at large, the entire country. He's trying to keep his entire country safe, and therefore it's not the immediate family that we have in mind कि बस आपके बच्चे, आपकी wife या आपका immediate family. वो नहीं है. Maybe it's a family man, or you can interpret it like this: that this guy who works for the security agencies, you look here in the mirror, and he actually has responsibilities as a professional intelligence guy, but he also has his family's problems, or as a normal human being taking care of a family. So you can interpret it like that. This term can be descriptive of both. आप दोनों तरीके से इसको देख सकते हो, correct? It can be a literal title or it can be a figurative title. Depends आप कैसे इसको देखते हो. So titles can be sometimes very hard to interpret also, but हमें तो करना है. So I'll give you an example also. But if you have just joined, welcome. I can see some of you joining, and नित्यांग, yes, मैंने अभी तुम्हारा मैसेज पढ़ा, दैट्स करेक्ट. और मूवी और वेब सीरीज में पूछ लो कि हैव यू सीन दिस वेब सीरीज, हैव यू सीन दिस मूवी, ना बोलने का तो सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता. नोबडी एंड्स अप सेइंग नहीं नहीं, इतना टाइम कहाँ मिलता है वेब सीरीज देखने का, वो तो हम कभी देखते ही नहीं है. उसमें सबसे आ गया यस 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 सर, आई हैव सीन इट, है ना, दिख रहा है मुझे. और अगर मैं अभी पूछता ये बुक पढ़ी है, हाँ बुक, हाँ ना, उससे तो हम दूर दूर रहते हैं, बिल्कुल राइट. So let me give you an example then. Now look at this book title, Amitabh Ghosh's Sea of Poppies. Now if I take the literal meaning, poppy is what you make opium from, right? Opium बनता है poppies के through. तो Sea of Poppies का literal मतलब होगा poppies का समंदर. That won't make sense. Poppy का समंदर, ये क्या है? But if you read the book, it is about the indentured laborers who were taken by the British from India, especially from UP and Bihar, to places like Mauritius or Fiji and so on and so forth. So ये कहानी है, and they would go and work in the fields where poppy would be produced, correct? So ये Sea of Poppy क्या है? This is basically a non-literal, this is a figurative, indirect title. It talks about those people who were taken to the sea and then they were taken to islands because they were made to work in the fields which produce poppies, right? And also sugarcane and all that kind of cash crops. तो ये डायरेक्ट लिटरल नहीं है, करेक्ट, ये इंडिकेटिव है. तो आप इस बुक को पढ़ोगे तो ये डिस्क्राइब करता है ये बुक किसके बारे में है, पर डायरेक्टली नहीं करता, इनडायरेक्टली करता है. दिस इज कॉल्ड इंडिकेटिव टाइटल. तो ऐसा भी होता है. तो कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा है अमिताभ घोष, जरा मैसेज में बताना जल्दी से. लेट मी सी, पढ़ा भी है किसी ने? नाउ कार्तिकेय देखो, मुझे पता नहीं है ट्रोल कर रहा है, तारीफ कर रहा है, समझ नहीं आ रहा है. ओके, सो आई नो योर आंसर, मुझे पता है क्या आंसर वाला है. हैव यू रेड दिस बुक? तो आंसर वाला नहीं नहीं, बुक से तो हमारे कोई रिश्ता ही नहीं रखते हम, है ना. अमिताभ घोष बाय द वे इज अ ग्रेट ऑथर. तो सवाल ये है that how do we find the title of a passage, right? तो very important, but very quickly I'll tell you 4 things about finding a the correct. हमें तो आंसर से मतलब है, करेक्ट आंसर ढूंढना है, हमें कौन सा बुक लिख के टाइटल लगाना है उसका. वी हैव टू नो हाउ डू वी फाइंड द करेक्ट आंसर फॉर अ टाइटल ऑफ द पैसेज, है ना. तो हमें ये लगाना है, हमें ये सीखना है. तो कार्तिकेय सिन्हा, yes, absolutely. Indicative titles are basically almost always metaphorical. Metaphor is what? Metaphor is nothing else but symbolism, right? You use symbols to indirectly talk about something, है ना. Yes, very good. So let's see what are the 4 things we have to keep in mind when we solve these questions. So first is, remember, you always ask yourself, what is the passage primarily about? Now, pay attention to the word primarily, everyone. The passage can have 10 different things, but ask yourself, what is the passage primarily talking about? Main mudda kya hai? Let me give you an example. Ramayana, if you look at the story, it has multiple characters, correct? Ram, Sita, Hanuman. Now, they all play their roles. उन सबकी अपने अपने रोल से अपनी अपनी कहानी है. But if I look at the primary story, जिनके आसपास सबकी स्टोरीज घूमती हैं, तो वो राम है. That is why we have to always ask yourself, what is the passage primarily about? So do not pay attention to only a part of it or one line of it only. Don't do that. Okay. Don't say it is mentioned there, so it must be the primary thing about the passage. Don't. Overall, what is the author primarily talking about? That is one. Second, pay attention to the tone. It can decide the title. For example, funny tone, criticizing, praising, neutral. So positive, negative, or neutral. इस पे ध्यान देना. Yeah, at least negative versus neutral or positive. Pay attention to the words. Is the author praising? For example, is the author angry? The tone you have done in the class, so somewhat like that. You have to pay attention to the word usage, right? So, for example, suppose the author says 5 benefits of jogging, and then he says if you jog, your knees become weak. If you jog, your lungs become weak. If you jog, your shoes get torn. तो तुम्हें लगेगा यार ये क्या चल रहा है, तो ये मजाक कर रहा है या ये सच में गुस्सा है जॉगिंग पे, शायद खुद किया होगा और बहुत टेंशन में आ गया एंड ही डिडंट लाइक इट. So you have to pay attention to the wordings and the tone, right? And lastly, punctuation of the options. Options के punctuation पे ध्यान रखना. Whether the option ends with a full stop, whether it ends with a question mark, whether it ends with an exclamation mark. You would see this a lot in online newspapers writing style. They'll write something like this: Europe is dead, and then they'll write a question mark after that. आप पढ़ोगे, आप ध्यान नहीं दोगे question mark पे, you would be like, okay, so it's saying Europe is dead, and you would start reading immediately. Or Europe is dead, Europe khatam ho gaya. And then you realize that the author is basically saying that it is possible, it may happen, because the author is ending with a question mark. So author is not saying that I am claiming it is true. The author is saying I am examining whether it's true or not. तो ये वाला जो क्वेश्चन मार्क है ये एग्जामिन कर रहा है rather than claim कर रहा है. बट अगर फुल स्टॉप लगा देगा ना यहाँ पे, that means the author is not examining it, author is claiming it. और अगर exclamation mark लगा देगा तो author is excited about it. Now Europe is dead. Just imagine, suppose I say COVID is gone, full stop. I'm saying it's gone for good, खत्म सब कुछ, right? तो कोविड की कहानी खत्म हो गई. I'm very happy. Now if I say COVID is gone and then with an exclamation mark, then I'm even more excited. I'm like shouting and telling the world, listen, COVID is gone. मजा आ गया, बहुत खुशी की बात है. I'm excited. But if I put a question mark here, now I'm going to examine. मेरा जो मैंने article लिखा होगा ना, I'm going to examine whether COVID is actually gone or not. So this entire title will change because of one very basic punctuation usage. If I say COVID is gone and then I put inverted commas after gone and then put a question mark, then I'm not only examining but I'm also examining the word gone more deeply. क्योंकि यहाँ पे gone का मतलब है कि मैं सिर्फ gone को ऐसे चला गया वाले सेंस में नहीं ले रहा. I'm also going to probably talk about this gone word itself is not correct in terms of COVID. तो मैं गॉन वर्ड पे भी फोकस करने वाला हूँ। तो इससे भी आप टाइटल ऑप्शंस एलिमिनेट कर सकते हो आसानी से, राइट? सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Punctuations can be used for elimination purposes also. So I hope you understood these 4 points. इनका ध्यान रखना. It would help you eliminate choices. Now, don't get scared by the size of the passage. ये काफी बड़ा सा passage लग रहा है, but तुम थोड़ी जल्दी वाली रीडिंग कर सकते हो, कोई मुश्किल नहीं है. 30 seconds में भी हो सकता है. I want you guys to quickly read it, and then meanwhile I'll show you the question also. Okay, तो जल्दी से जरा रीडिंग कर लो, और क्वेश्चन आपको दिख रहा होगा तो फिर क्वेश्चन में आंसर बता देना. नो प्रॉब्लम. देयर आर 5 ऑप्शंस हियर एवरीवन. ठीक है, तो देखो ए बी सी डी 5 ऑप्शंस हैं. आप जल्दी से पैराग्राफ पढ़ लो और जल्दी से आंसर बता दो. ओके, आई एम गोइंग टू वेट फॉर 30 seconds. आई थिंक 30 seconds काफी होगा इस क्वेश्चन के आंसर के लिए. ऑलराइट, पे अटेंशन टू व्हाट इज इट प्राइमरली अबाउट. पे अटेंशन टू द लैंग्वेज. पे अटेंशन टू ऑफ कोर्स द ऑप्शंस के पंक्चुएशन पे भी ध्यान देना, वर्डिंग्स का यूज देखना. बट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है ऑथर किसके बारे में बात कर रहा है प्राइमरीली, उसे पकड़ना बहुत जरूरी है. जस्ट डू दैट एवरीवन एंड टेल मी द आंसर. ओके, so I can see Kartikeya says I have read Gun Island. Okay, I have not read that, Kartikeya, but let me know if it's something you recommend. Navya Rastogi, I think somebody answered your question, and Kartikeya answered it, and I think did a good job. Okay, so I'm going to wait. Please let me know what you think the answer should be. All right, तो मुझे आंसर्स मिलने लग गए. कार्तिकेय says work is worship, बट मेरा काम तो वेट करना है. मैं थोड़ा वेट कर लेता हूँ, नो प्रॉब्लम. पैराग्राफ के लेंथ से घबराना मत. ओके, इट्स नॉट दैट हार्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड. The language, remember guys, might be a little awkward for you because it's from a book published in like probably 18th century. So I don't remember exactly, but थोड़ा सा awkward लग सकता है. Nityang says C. Anshraj says A. Anshraj, that's a good name. Supriya says C. Navya Rastogi says C. Janvi's answer is A. Okay, I will wait for 15 more seconds. Ankit A, Nityang C, Manas C, Ishan C. Okay, let's see what is the answer, है ना. Christy का आंसर A है. Bhumika's answer is C. Suleiman's answer is C. Vishal A. Harshita C. Shan C. Okay, आकांक्षा A. तो A और C के बीच में मेजर लड़ाई है और कुछ नहीं. A और C के बीच में टेंशन है. चलो कोई बात नहीं, लेट्स रीड इट, लेट्स सी. माहिता's आंसर इज C. प्रीति का आंसर है A और C में ही लड़ाई चल रही, नो प्रॉब्लम. ओके, अब जरा कंपेयर कर लेते हैं A और C को. पहले ऑप्शन A सेज मनी एंड वर्क. So the option A says that there are two things that are discussed here. This paragraph is primarily about two things, and those things are money and work and their relationship between them. Whenever I say A and B, I am talking about the relation between the two. Yes or no? It's like jogging and health. You understand? Exercising and health. Samosas and health. Chole bhature and health. I'm talking about their relationship. Clear na? Very clear. So if I read a passage and the topic says nuclear power and India. So what do you think the paragraph is about? The paragraph will be about nuclear power and its relationship with India, or India and its relationship with nuclear power. Correct? Whether India will have it, not have it, whatever, good things, bad things about nuclear power and India's relation with that. Correct? Suppose the paragraph says drugs and youth. We can be pretty sure that the primary reason the paragraph is written is that is going to discuss the relation between drugs and youth, whether youth are taking it or not, whether it's good or bad. Obviously bad, but I'm just saying, correct? You get the point. Drugs and youth, तो drug और youth के बारे में बात करेंगे. So option A says money and work, means according to this title, this paragraph should be about money and work and their relationship आपस में. But I hope you guys understand, if you choose C as your answer, C is a definite statement. It says work is worship. काम पूजा है, कर्म ही पूजा है. Now let me ask you, are you sure the author is saying this, that कर्म ही पूजा है? Work is worship. Is that what the primary discussion point of the author is? Or is it that the author is exploring, explaining, telling you the relation between money and work? Because if you read the paragraph, it's very obvious that the author says the state does not commonly reward a genius any more wisely. Even the poet laureate would rather not have to celebrate the accents of royalty. And if you read, it says, do not hire a man who does your work for money, but him who does it for love of it. The community has no bribe that will tempt a wise man. What is the author saying? Is the author saying work is worship? Is the author not really talking about money and the relation it has with work? Don't you think the author is saying that if you work for money, then you are probably not someone this author will be very happy with? This person, this author is saying that if you're working, you should work for the love of the work, not for the money. This author is very clearly in the paragraph talking about the relationship between money and work. The author is not saying that work is most important, work is should be your worship, work is this or that. Author is saying what is the relation between work and money. The author says if you are someone who works for money, then you are not the best kind of human being. You should work because you love it. And that is why the correct answer for this question is A and not C. And I hope you can see the difference. Option E and D can be easily eliminated because the paragraph is not about gold and God at all. Gold is mentioned only in the last paragraph, that too only in God and gold both, but only in limited amount, and it is not the primary reason why the author wrote it. Second option says work is money with an exclamation mark, means the author is excited and saying work is money. It actually is very opposite to what the author is saying. So B is very clearly out. Only A and C are close, but A is talking about a relation. C is kind of affirming, kind of straight away saying that work is something you should value only, which is not, again, the author's main point. And therefore, if you marked your answer as A, you have done a very good job. I hope the explanation was understood, everyone. I hope you understood why the answer is A, everyone. Correct? Very good. Kartikeya says it makes sense. That's good. Navya, that's correct. Yes, very good. Well done, guys. Now have a look at this. Now you cannot complain that this is a poem. Poem थोड़ी आता है हमारे एग्जाम में, बिल्कुल आता है और आ सकता भी है. So please remember, you have to find titles for anything. Tomorrow you might get a song by Gulzar, okay? गुलजार का गाना दे दिया और आपसे बोलेंगे बताओ इसका टाइटल क्या होना चाहिए. So be ready for that also. Okay. Now remember everyone, if you want to learn more and more, तो एक मैं आपको सीक्रेट टिप देता हूँ. एक रेड कलर का बटन होता है, उसमें सब्सक्राइब लिखा होता है, उसको प्रेस करोगे तो आपके ऊपर ज्ञान की गंगा बहेगी. गारंटीड, करके देखना. और लाइक वाला बटन प्रेस करते ही आपका IQ 10% इमीडिएट जंप हो जाता है. ट्राई इट एंड लेट मी नो. ओके, वेरी गुड. अभी करके सब बताएंगे मुझे और जरा आंसर भी बताएंगे साथ में, ऑफ कोर्स. दिस पोएम इज बाय रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट और उनके पोएम्स हमने बहुत पढ़े हैं बचपन से, है ना. ये भी पढ़ा ही होगा तुमने शायद, ये भी. चलो, सोनालिका हैज रेड इट. यस, आई एक्सपेक्टेड दैट, ऑफ कोर्स, है ना. Mostly Robert Frost is well read by the जनता. All right, everyone. I now expect the answer. Tony Kakkar's song as a title song question, that would be phenomenal and monumental, revolutionary. ओके, तनिष्का तुम फिर लेट हो गए आज हैं? प्रीति ने क्लास 10 में पढ़ा है, फिर तो आंसर बता दो ना, फिर तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है? कार्तिकेय, ओके, सो आई लेट मी चेक क्या आंसर आ रहा है भाई। बी 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 बी, कार्तिकेय आंसर है डी, सृष्टि का सी, ईशान का डी, सुलेमान का सी, ओशिन का बी, विशाल का सी। इसमें झगड़ा हो रहा है क्लियरली, बी सी और डी, ए को कोई पूछ ही नहीं रहा। कार्तिकेय नॉट रियली, नो नो। तनिष्का हैज कम लेट बट उसने आंसर एकदम से दे दिया, जबरदस्त। अब करेक्ट है कि नहीं वो तो बात की बात है। लेट्स सी, भूमिका सी, निवेदिता सी, कार्तिकेय बेटर, बट इट्स रिटन इन द पोएम इटसेल्फ, कार्तिकेय। ओके, तान्या सी, चलो मैं हेल्प करता हूँ, बहुत आसान है, देखो बड़ा ही आसान क्वेश्चन है। ये कहता है सम से द वर्ल्ड विल एंड इन फायर, सम से इन आइस, फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हैव टेस्टेड ऑफ डिजायर I hold with those who favor fire. Means what? Understand. Author is saying, some say it will end in fire, some say it will end in ice. Then the author says, whatever I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Means author says, जितना मुझे डिजायर के बारे में पता है, इससे लगता है कि वाकई में फायर में ही खत्म होगा। So according to the author, fire and desire are same. Yes or no? So what does fire signify? Fire signifies desire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate. Now he says, I know enough of hate to know that for destruction, ice is also great. Now see, hate is now equivalent to what? Ice. And would suffice. So what is the author saying? Author is saying there are two things that can kill the world. One is desire, second is hate. And the author says, I have personal experience of desire and it can actually end the world. But the way hate is is present in this world, even hate can easily, sufficiently kill this world. And I personally absolutely agree. Desire, which can become greed, and hatred both can end the world. I think you guys would agree with me. Hatred, I think nowadays is even more potentially dangerous thing for this world than greed. Yes or no? Greed को तो समझा भी ले, hate का क्या करेंगे, है ना? This is what the author is saying, and remember he wrote it like hundreds of years back. So masterpiece actually. So the author is saying that desire and hate both can destroy this world, right? So what is the poem all about? What is the poem all about? It's about destruction of this world and how fire, that is desire, and ice, that is hate, can do it. Correct? All right. Now let me see. Absolutely. So now question is, everyone, what is the correct answer? Very clearly the correct answer, let's check. Desire and hate, a tale of destruction. Yes, it can be a good descriptive title for this poem. Fire and ice can be a pretty metaphorical, symbolical title for this poem. Destruction by fire and ice, slightly literal, but fire and ice both are metaphorical. ये भी title हो सकता है, but look at the option. Emotional destruction of the world. Is it talking about emotional destruction? It doesn't look like. It talks about perishing, right? It's ending. It's talking about perishing. It is not about emotional destruction for sure. What is the paragraph primarily about? What is the poem primarily about? It's not about emotional destruction. So the correct answer must be D for Delhi, because it says most unsuitable title. And therefore, the correct answer is D for Delhi. Did you get this, everyone? Now I'm pretty sure some of you are like, oh my god, ये भी होता है हमारे साथ, ये भी हो सकता है. Some of you might be like, oh my god, I did not even read the question. ये हमारे साथ अन्याय है. And I can see the retractions also, है ना, आंसर में दिख रहा है मुझे retraction, and I know why it's happening. Navya, no. Bhumika's reaction clearly tells it all, है ना. Is it clear? Prakhar is not very happy. Srishti is honest. ये बेचारी लॉयर कैसे बनेगी? Just joking. So सृष्टि से मैंने क्वेश्चन ही नहीं पढ़ा. मुझे पता है सृष्टि ऑफ कोर्स. Ansh says, oh no, unsuitable. नित्यांग से अनसुटेबल तो पढ़ा ही नहीं, क्योंकि क्वेश्चंस पढ़ने की जिम्मेदारी किनकी है? योर्स ट्रूली, हमारी है ना, बिल्कुल. ऑलराइट, तो ईशान बिल्कुल. बट यस, आई थिंक सम ऑफ यू एक्चुअली आंसर डी. आई डोंट नो तुमने सही क्वेश्चन पढ़ के आंसर किया कि गलत क्वेश्चन पढ़ के आंसर किया, बट कुछ लोगों ने डी आंसर दिया था, है ना. नव्या ने दिया था ऑफ कोर्स. अंकित अंकित भी ऑनेस्ट है, वो कह रहा है गलती से ठीक हो गया. ऑल राइट, वर्ड गेमिंग, यस तुम थोड़ा लेट हो. तो आई हैव रन आउट ऑफ टाइम एवरीवन, बट आई होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट. यस, तो अब ये ऐसे करके आप क्वेश्चन करोगे, याद रखना वो 4 पॉइंट्स दैट आई हैव डिस्कस्ड, राइट. एंड लेट योर फ्रेंड्स नो, यू कैन स्प्रेड द वर्ड, टेल योर फ्रेंड्स. एंड रिमेंबर गाइस, व्हेन यू पुट अ लाइक, what happens is more students can access these videos reach more number of students, तो थोड़ी help भी हो जाती है. So do that, and I will see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock again with a new topic on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining everyone. We do appreciate your giving time to us, and we do try to bring the very best for you. Thank you so much everyone. I'll see you again. Bye bye everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.